Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. Which AWS service is integrated with AWS IoT Analytics for data visualization? Amazon Redshift, AWS CloudFormation, AWS Lambda, Amazon QuickSight. Amazon QuickSight is used for visualizing the data processed by AWS IoT Analytics. Which AWS service can you use to visualize the data processed by AWS IoT Analytics? AWS Glue, Amazon S3, AWS Step Functions, Amazon QuickSight. Amazon QuickSight can be used to create visualizations of the processed data. How does AWS IoT Analytics ensure data security? Through encryption and IAM policies. By preventing data storage. By restricting internet access. By using dedicated hardware. AWS IoT Analytics ensures data security through encryption and IAM policies. What is a typical use case for AWS IoT Analytics in industrial applications? Video streaming, social media analysis, predictive maintenance, image processing. In industrial applications, AWS IoT Analytics is typically used for predictive maintenance. Which AWS service can be used to enhance the analytics capabilities of AWS IoT Analytics? Amazon SageMaker, AWS CodePipeline, AWS Elastic Beanstalk, Amazon Aurora. Amazon SageMaker can be integrated to enhance the analytics capabilities with machine learning. What kind of analysis can be performed using AWS IoT Analytics? Video encoding, game development, predictive analytics, website hosting. AWS IoT Analytics is designed to perform predictive analytics on IoT data. What is the role of AWS IoT Analytics in IoT data lifecycle management? Processing and analyzing data. Managing IoT device firmware. Creating network configurations. Deploying IoT devices. AWS IoT Analytics plays a crucial role in processing and analyzing IoT data. What is the role of a channel in AWS IoT Analytics? To secure network connections. To manage cloud resources. To create visualizations. To collect data from IoT devices. Channels in AWS IoT Analytics are used to collect data from IoT devices. Which AWS service can be used to create complex queries in AWS IoT Analytics? AWS Glue, Amazon Rekognition, AWS S3, Amazon RDS. AWS Glue can be used to create complex ETL queries in AWS IoT Analytics. How can AWS IoT Analytics integrate with other AWS services? Using external APIs. By dedicated network setup. By manual data transfer. Through AWS IoT Core. AWS IoT Analytics integrates with other AWS services like AWS IoT Core to enhance functionality. How does AWS IoT Analytics support machine learning? By providing GPU instances. By preparing and processing data for analysis. By managing machine learning frameworks. By hosting machine learning models. AWS IoT Analytics prepares and processes data to be used in machine learning analysis. Which AWS IoT Analytics feature helps in detecting data anomalies? Data filters. Pre-built templates. Data encryption. Virtual servers. Data filters in AWS IoT Analytics help in detecting anomalies in the data. Which feature of AWS IoT Analytics helps in processing large volumes of IoT data? Limited data ingestion. Manual data processing. Static storage volumes. Scalable data pipelines. Scalable data pipelines help in efficiently processing large volumes of IoT data. What is the purpose of a data store in AWS IoT Analytics? To deploy applications. To configure network settings. To store processed data for analysis. To manage user permissions. A data store in AWS IoT Analytics is used to store processed data for further analysis. Which feature of AWS IoT Analytics helps in reducing the cost of data analysis? Automated data summarization. Dedicated hardware usage. Manual data entry. Increased data storage requirements. Automated data summarization helps reduce the cost by minimizing the amount of data to be processed. What is the function of a pipeline in AWS IoT Analytics? To manage databases. To create virtual machines. To process messages through a series of activities. To deploy applications. A pipeline processes messages through a series of activities to clean, filter, and enrich IoT data. Can AWS IoT Analytics handle real-time data? Yes, but only for text data. No, it processes historical data only. No, it processes batch data only. Yes, it processes data in real time. AWS IoT Analytics processes historical data, not real-time data. What is a benefit of using managed data stores in AWS IoT Analytics? Dedicated hardware requirement. Local storage only. Manual data entry. Scalability and ease of management. Managed data stores offer scalability and ease of management for storing processed data. Which feature allows you to summarize data in AWS IoT Analytics? Database indexing. Network configuration. Machine learning models. Data aggregation. Data aggregation in AWS IoT Analytics allows for summarizing large sets of data. What type of data can AWS IoT Analytics process? Only unstructured data. Only structured data. Structured and unstructured IoT data. Only text data. AWS IoT Analytics is capable of processing both structured and unstructured IoT data. What type of storage is used for raw IoT data in AWS IoT Analytics? Database tables. Local disks. Channel storage. Memory cache. Raw IoT data is initially stored in channels in AWS IoT Analytics before processing. What type of data store is used in AWS IoT Analytics for long-term storage? Managed data store. Virtual server. SQL database. Memory cache. A managed data store is used in AWS IoT Analytics for long-term storage of processed data. What is the function of the data management service in AWS IoT Analytics? To deploy IoT applications. To create machine learning models. To manage and store IoT data. To configure network settings. The data management service in AWS IoT Analytics manages and stores IoT data. In AWS IoT Analytics, what is a dataset? A virtual server. A security policy. A set of data used for querying and analysis. A storage volume. A dataset in AWS IoT Analytics is used for querying and analyzing data. What is the main purpose of an AWS IoT Analytics dataset? To manage user access. To run queries on processed data. To store raw data. To configure network settings. The main purpose of a dataset in AWS IoT Analytics is to run queries on processed data. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and, if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.